These guys think they're racing a random school nerd. What they don't know is that they're actually racing a 3-time collegiate school record holder. But today he's disguised as your typical college nerd. And he's gonna be sneaking into a track meet, competing in 2 races against sprinters from across California. So the real question is, will people realize that he's not who he says he is? Or will he fool everyone?
Alright guys, we just got to San Diego Mesa College, and today we're gonna be sneaking in as a nerd at a college track meet. And today you can see we got the I Love Math t-shirt, we got the picky shorts, real tight, we got the knee-high socks, and today we're gonna be sneaking in and running a 400 and a 200, and we need to win this race today, so let's see what happens. Let's go sneak in.
In order for Brendan to successfully complete this challenge, he needs a 3-step plan. Step 1, sneak into the track meet without getting caught. Step 2, win at least 2 different races. Step 3, expose his true identity at the end of the challenge. With our nerds plan in motion, step 1 of this challenge is to sneak into the track meet. Hopefully the meet director's security doesn't catch on to our nerds plan.
All right, I'm running unattached.
I love math.
Yes.
Right when we thought everything was going smoothly, our nerd has encountered his first obstacle.
No consent.
But with some light, smooth talk, our nerd was able to de-escalate this situation and successfully complete step 1 of this challenge.
All right guys, we made it in through check-in. We have our bib. Now let's go down to the warm-up tents.
Now that the undercover nerd has successfully registered and snuck into the track meet, it's time to start the second phase of our plan, which is to win at least 2 different races, with the first race being the 400-meter dash. And our undercover nerd is racing some of the fastest sprinters in California. Let's see if he can win his races. Now that our nerd finessed his way through the meet director's security, all he needs to do now is walk to the warm-up area without raising any suspicion. So far, nobody has realized that our nerd is not who he says he is, but he is getting some suspicious stares from the crowd. As our nerd makes his way into the heart of the track meet, he comes face to face with some of his competitors. But despite the intensity of the situation, our nerd is completely oblivious.
Man, there's some really fast people here. Man, they're really moving. Oh my God, they're moving. Dude, look at the inside lanes. Oh my God, they're moving.
It was at this point our nerd realizes that winning his 2 races is not going to be a walk in the park.
Alright guys, I'm on spring break. I just finished all my finals for my astrophysics exam, and next week we get to start my PhD in astroscience. Today, we get to have a little break and go run a 400 meters and a 200 meters against some college kids in beautiful California.
As our nerd prepares for the 400-meter race, he decides to scout his competition one last time, and he comes to the realization that he needs to execute both of his races perfectly if he wants a chance at beating these college kids.
Alright guys, we're about to see the fastest 100 meter in JUCO. Calculations, I think someone's going to go 10-2 with a nice 2.1 win. It's all math, baby. Holy crap, he's moving. Holy crap, he's moving.
It was at this point our nerd is completely stunned, and he knows he has to start locking in for his race.
Alright guys, before you run our race, we need to go buy some new shoes and new gear to help us win this race, because these shoes just aren't going to cut it. Luckily today, we're using Coupert to get the best price on all our gear. Coupert is a free online extension designed to help save you money when online shopping effortlessly. Coupert automatically tests and applies the best available coupons on hundreds of thousands of sites, ensuring you get the maximum savings with no extra effort. Additionally, you can activate Coupert's cashback feature, which allows you to get money back on everyday purchases, which you can withdraw with PayPal, gift cards, or bank card. Coupert also offers a price comparison tool, so instead of doing extra homework and research, Coupert helps you make informed decisions on which retailer is the cheapest option, which means less studying for A+ savings. As a smart man, I love saving money, and Coupert does exactly that, saving the average user $600 annually. Coupert supports Chrome, Edge, Safari, and much more, which is why the smarter shopper uses Coupert. Thanks to them, I was able to get a discount on my spikes to help me win our next race. Thanks to Coupert for sponsoring the video. Now let's get back to the races.
Now that our nerd has analyzed his competition, he knows exactly what he needs to do to win his race, and that involves some very deep hip stretches. Yeah. But just as he's starting to get warmed up, some athletes are starting to get a little suspicious of his disguise. All right, Michael, how fast do you think our nerd is gonna run in this 400-meter race?
I think he could run a 55, yeah.
All right, Jasmine, how do you think our nerd is gonna do in this 400-meter race?
I think he's gonna like break an Olympic record, duh.
Now that our nerd is fully warmed up for his races, it's time to see if he can actually keep up with the college kids.
All right, guys, we just finished warming up. We're gonna go check in now, make sure that we can get in, ready for our race.
At this point, our nerd's disguise is working perfectly, as no one has truly caught on to the fact that he's a 3-time collegiate school record holder.
Hello, men's 400. I think he won.
He won, okay.
And just like that, our nerd's cover was completely blown, as some of the athletes have seen our videos before.
Thank you, guys. All right, guys, we checked in. It's go time. Let's go run this 400.
So far, everything in our nerd's plan is going exactly how he imagined it, as he was successfully sneaking into a race full of college kids. And the second phase of our nerd's plan is about to begin.
Once the ladies pass by right here, I'm taking heats 1 through 4 by the starting area.
The 400-meter races are about to go off, and our nerd is completely locked in.
All right, men, heat 1 through 4.
With the first heats being called out to the track, our nerd is standing out like a sore thumb, and all of the other athletes still have no clue who he truly is. And just like that, step 2 of our nerd's plan is underway. Hopefully no one realizes his true identity before he gets to the start line. Against all odds, our undercover nerd is about to sneak into a college race in the fastest heat of the men's 400-meter dash, and the entire heat is filled with Division I sprinters. Our undercover nerd better bring his A game, because this is not going to be an easy race. All of our nerd's preparation is coming down to this moment.
All right, here we go. Kind of nervous. Float like a butterfly. These guys have no clue what's about to happen.
With no hesitation, our nerd explodes out of the blocks, and in a few steps, he's already made up the stagger on the sprinter to his right. Now heading into the backstretch, he's staying composed, but this is where the race really starts to build. As our nerd hits the backstretch, he's in control, but this is where most runners fall apart. Our runners are making their way to the halfway point, and this is a tied race. But out of nowhere, the sprinter to our nerd's left starts making his move, slowly passing him up on the inside lane. With 200 meters to go, our nerd starts to calculate when he should engage his kick, because at this point, if he doesn't make his move soon, he might lose this race. As our runners enter the home stretch, our nerd has some work to do. With 80 meters to go, he starts to empty the tank, trying to close this gap. And despite all of his calculations and probabilities, he is losing this race. It looks like our nerd is going to take second place, and he's definitely going to be pissed off. Let's go down there and see how he's actually feeling. Now that our nerd lost the race, people are starting to low-key bully him, and our nerd is so exhausted that he can't really defend himself. The 400-meter dash is no joke, and our nerd is feeling it firsthand. Luckily, he does have some supporters here, and they are not here to bully him.
All right, guys, I'm pissed off. I've never lost a race like that before. This is my second 400 ever. I let him come on my inside. I never let him happen. That's for me and my inexperience, but today we're coming back for blood in that 200. I promise you, I'm doing this for the nerd and math community. He may lose this hit, but we've never lost the match. Let's do it.
Now that our nerd lost the first race, he's got one more chance to win his next race, or the entire challenge is gonna be over. Since our nerd was so pissed off that he lost his race, he decides to read his favorite book to decompress a little before his next race. All right, we're here with Jet. How do you think he's gonna run in his 200-meter race?
You know what? I like to see something crazy like a 20, sub 21. We'll see though.
All right, do you think our nerd's fit is gonna slow him down at all?
Absolutely not. It's gonna make him go faster.
At this point, our nerd's plan wasn't going how he imagined. So now the only way he could still complete this challenge is to win the next race by any means necessary. With one loss already on the board, our nerd cannot afford to lose again. He has one final chance to save this challenge, or his entire plan is foiled. As the athletes are being called to the start line, our undercover nerd is locked in on redemption, as this is the moment we've all been waiting for.
On your mark.
I need to win this race. I need to get my revenge. They messed with the wrong nerd today. No more bullying today.
I'm gonna take these guys to detention. This is my track.
Set. Set.
With a time of 21.9 seconds, our nerd has successfully won his race, completing step 2 of this challenge. Now it's time for the final step of our plan, where our undercover nerd is going to reveal his true identity to the other athletes.
All right, guys, we just finished the 200. I got first place in my race. Super happy about that. We had a good day out here. We ran with some college kids, some super fast people, some really cool kids, and we're excited to be here. Twin Athletics, we out.